Hello everyone, it is Xanet Pailet and it is Friday and we're starting again our Talking Love, Sex and Intimacy with Xanet on Friday mornings between 10 and 11. Today it's around 11 o'clock. So the topic that I wanted to cover today actually came from an article that, sorry, my phone is not cooperating. Okay, let's do it this way. Actually came from an article that somebody posted on the Talking Love, Sex and Intimacy website and asked me to comment on it. And I told her that I would comment on it on Facebook Live, on a Facebook Live video, so I am. So the comment was, she sent me an article that was around talking about, is somebody having sex with your aura? And the article was really about how when you have sex with somebody, you're intimate with somebody, you are connecting your energetic bodies, and that there's a need to be able to cleanse your aura of that person's energy. Which I totally agree with. But what it made me think about, because this month the topic for this month in my blog and on Facebook Live is really about consent and boundaries. So what it made me really think about was the way in which we continually violate other people's boundaries without consent. So let me tell you what I mean by that, because I'm not talking about touch. I'm actually talking about the energy of violation of somebody's boundaries. So this is really resonating with me, particularly because I just started this awesome class on intuition medicine, which is really about helping me and everyone begin to connect even deeper to you in your intuitive sense. And so we are very much focused on energy and what our energy boundaries are, and feeling energy, which is something I've always been connected to, but I never really had some of the languaging that I needed. But one of the things that happens to us as human beings is that we have a body, we have a physical body made up of molecules and cells and tissue and bone. And then we have this energetic body, this electromagnetic field that surrounds us as well. And this is something that can be measured, right? There's actually a way in which we measure the electromagnetic field that emanates from the earth, because the earth actually radiates a sense of energy. And there's electromagnetic fields around us. And you can call it a lot of different things. You can call it your electronic magnetic field. You can call it your energy body, which is separate from your physical body. You can call it an aura, which is one of the words that we're starting to use, your aura, which is the energetic body that surrounds you. But we all have it. And those of you like me who are highly, I've never wanted to use this term, but I think it's actually fairly relevant, like a highly sensitive, sometimes they're called highly sensitive people, which means that we're very sensitive to noise and to light and to sound, that our nervous system vibrates at a pretty high level, and anything outside of a range of comfort may create a sense of discomfort or even dis-ease. Tend to really feel the energy. And we actually all have that. One of the things that's really interesting about energy is that energy follows intention. And so when I teach classes around energy and intention, I show people, look, you can actually feel energy yourself by rubbing your hands together and feeling the energy ball between you. But when we start to recognize that we're made out of not only a physical body, but an energy body, we begin to notice how different people's energy impacts us. So think about if you've ever walked into a room or a house where you just felt a little bit off, like you felt that the energy was off. You were probably sensing some sort of negative energy, either from the space itself or from the individuals that were in the space. And one of the things that happens to us, and I see this happen really frequently when we're on the dance floor, when we're at, for example, an intimacy workshop or a tantra workshop. And, here I am, a tantra educator, so I'm really coming, and I'm sorry that this Facebook thing is really tilty here. I'm coming really full force, that there's this way in which we often violate people's energy body and energy boundaries without asking for consent. And wow, I've seen this happen on the dance floor a lot, especially in some of the conscious dance communities, when somebody who I maybe know a little bit but don't know that well, like, comes up to you and they're really kind of in your face. And, there are ways in which you can be close to somebody and still hold your energy boundaries. And there's ways in which you're basically, I call it like you're trying to fuck me energetically without my consent. And that, as somebody who's very sensitive to energy, and I'm wondering if this resonates with some people on the call as well on Facebook Live. Hi, Michael. Hello, Phoenix. Hello, Dust. Hi, Catherine. Feels just like a violation, like a really severe violation, as if you touched me without my consent. You actually kind of fucked me without my consent, particularly if it involves a lot of eye gazing, which at least for me feels and can feel very intrusive if I have not consented to that. So I can give you an example of being in a conscious dance community, and there's one particular person who I notice as I'm watching what's going around the room, gets really in women's faces and creates this intense eye-gazing situation while they're dancing. And a lot of the women, when I talked to them about it afterwards, said that they feel like they're almost being hypnotized in that space. And that makes perfect sense, because that person's energy is very intense and they're basically almost taking over your body with their energy. And if you're sensitive to energy, you will actually feel either that you're being violated, or you might feel like you completely want to go into that direction to allow that person to basically fuck you energetically and take over your energy. And then you come out of it and you're like, wow, why did I do that? Why did I allow that to happen? That actually didn't feel very good for me. So now there's no question that when we're doing work, intimate work, or we're doing work with Tantra and we're doing eye gazing, we are connecting energetically with people. And I think I just want to say, and I'm definitely going to say it in my next Tantra classes, workshops that I teach, is that you kind of need to ask permission. Like, is it okay if I feel or play with your energy? Because that's really what we're doing. And this article talked about how when you're having sex with somebody, that your energies are merging. And that's absolutely true. When you are intimate with another person, not only are your physical bodies merging, but your energetic bodies are merging as well. And when you separate, you remove the physical body from the interaction, the energetic footprint, the energy of that person stays in your aura and stays in your body. And just think about that. Think about people that you've had sex with, that you've been connected with in the past, where you still feel the energy of them in your body. When I work with women, and on when I do some holistic pelvic care work with women, we often find and have to release energies, foreign energies of past partners, past lovers, that live in a woman's pelvic bowl and actually release that. So what this article talked about were the ways in which you can clear the energy of a lover after having had sex with them. And there's lots of ways in which you can clear energy. You can take a shower. You can do a clearing of your chakras just to move the energy out. Energy follows intention. So you can also just do a separation and say, like, I am me and you are you. And I am taking all of my energies back. And I am giving you back all of your energies as well. The article talks about being out in nature and sunlight. There's just lots of different ways in which we can clear energy. But I really want you to just think about that and consider, how often does that happen to you? Have you been violated energetically? I'll give you an example. I was at a cuddle party, I think it was a cuddle party that was a little bit of a second base, like a little bit of a sexy party, but it wasn't a play party. And I was doing some exercise. This was facilitated with some man, and I don't know what we were doing. I think we were maybe breathing together, and he just started having all of these like energetic kriyas. And I understand that energy runs through our body, but I was actually really feeling like I wanted to have more protection around me when that happened, because that felt like a really big violation, right? So I get, as a practitioner, that energy runs through our body and we start having kriyas, but there was something about his energy where I felt like he was pushing it out on me and wanting to draw me into the energetic fucking, which is what it felt like. He wanted to energetically fuck me. And I got this just like very, very negative feeling and did a major like, oh, I've got to pull back from this because this doesn't really feel safe for me. And afterwards I had a conversation with him and I said, this is, my experience of you was that you were trying to push your energy out on me and kind of fuck me energetically with your kriyas. And I didn't appreciate that. And I didn't sense that you sensed that I pulled back and that you were able to stop yourself from doing that. And we do get to control our energy. I mean, that's one of the things that I'm really learning in this class. And it's interesting, I will be incorporating more of this, I already am, in my work with my clients, is that energy does follow intention. And that means that you get to control your energy. And you can put a field of protection around yourself, which many of us do sort of automatically when we're feeling unsafe or we don't want to be violated or penetrated by somebody else, by pulling our energy field in, or maybe even expanding our energy field and pushing ourselves or pushing the other person away. So I'm wondering if anybody has any questions or comments about what I'm talking about, which is for those of you that are, hi Wendy, hi Arthur, hi Donna, wow, nice to see you. What I'm talking about is this sense of allowing or having the feeling of having our energy violated by somebody else's actions, either the way that they look at you or the way in which they work with their own energy. So some of the things that you can do to protect yourself from this is to think about creating around yourself a bubble of protection. I do this through some grounding meditations and create a bubble around me to protect me and only to allow the energies in that I want to allow in and keep out all of the energies that I do not want to have. So that's one of the protection mechanisms that we have in order to prevent somebody from energetically violating your boundaries. And as I said before, the other piece of advice that I have is, if it happens in the kindest and most compassionate way after you've protected yourself, is to address your comments to that other person and say, like, wow, I'm really feeling like you're probably not intending to do this, but like you're in my space and it doesn't feel comfortable. And this happens both during intimate time with people and also just out in the world, where often in a work environment or a social environment, somebody violates our energetic boundaries and it doesn't feel good. But I've actually focused a lot of this on what happens when you're in a workshop setting or in the dance community or in an intimate setting. So that's really what I wanted to talk about today. The topic for this month or for the next 4 weeks is around boundaries and consent, which we know is a huge issue. And I wanted to talk about it from the perspective of energy, not just physical consent, but also the whole energetic side of it. So I'd love for, hey Muriel, I'd love for you all to, if you're not already, to join Talking Love, Sex, and Intimacy with Xanet on Facebook, where I'm going to be posting some questions about boundaries and consent and how you handle it. There's been some pretty interesting conversations going on there. And to share our own personal experiences around this. And I'm really interested in knowing how many of you notice and are aware of or have had experiences of having your energetic boundaries be violated without your consent, and what you did around that, and what this means to you. Even like for some of you, this may be really new information. Oh, we have an energetic body and what that actually means. But we all have had the sense of somebody getting in our space, and getting in our space is about a violation of our boundaries without our consent. So chew on that, you guys, on this Friday. I have no idea what day it is. I think it's the 12th of January, or maybe it's the 13th. And we will connect next Friday on Facebook Live again, between 10 and 11, usually around 10:30. And we'll continue to I'll be answering questions from from the Facebook group, and I will be talking about another consent issue. I think this time I'm going to be talking about the issue around boundaries in long-term relationships. How do you hold your boundaries? Is it okay to have a boundary in a long-term relationship sexually? And what does that mean? And what are the tools that we have and that we can use in order to be able to do that in a safe and effective and loving and compassionate and kind way? So y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next Friday.